Hello, it's Wednesday the 19th of July and I'm going to use 2 cards from my Crystal Tarot again to give you a reading for today. Been quite an intense week. We've got a lot going on astrologically, so I'm sure you're probably already read up on that, but we've had a new moon in Cancer. The lunar nodes are shifting into new signs, so do look that up. That's quite an interesting piece of astrology. We're moving into Leo season. Venus is going in retrograde. There's lots of different things coming up that maybe we'll be dealing with our heart center quite a lot. And yeah, so if you feel a bit overwhelmed, that might be why. Okay, let's see who we've got. Right, we've got the 3 of Wands and we've got the 8 of Swords. Now I'm going to quickly show you what crystals are in those cards. So the 3 of Wands, we've got Azurite. That is a crystal that boosts creativity and prevents you being run down. So that's lovely. And then the 8 of Swords, let me just turn the page. Okay, I thought it was Bornite. It's a beautiful kind of rainbowy coloured. Will help you remove self-imposed restrictions and obstacles and move on rapidly through a stagnant phase. But that's quite nice that that's actually paired with the creativity of the 3 of Wands. Looking at these 8 swords, they're all sort of in a line and look very rigid, don't they? As if they can't go any other way than that. They have to all be standing, pointing the same way. Someone with OCD would love to see these swords all like that. And the idea of just picking them up and throwing them and seeing where they land could, you know, tip someone over the edge. I certainly know a few people like that anyway. I don't know if you do. But it's the idea that, you know, these are all in uniform. So we just kind of accept when we see something like that, that there can't be any other way. There can't be any way of thinking. There can't be any way of being. There's, you know, you've heard the expression, oh, we've always done things that way, or traditions, or, you know, even sort of learned behaviour that we've picked up from our parents or grandparents or ancestors. Always done that way, can't possibly change it. So I am wondering what happens today if we challenge every thought that comes into our heads that stops us in our tracks, because we don't push any further, because we daren't, because we've never done it that way before. It could spark the creativity in these 3 of Wands, couldn't it? Or maybe this spark of creativity is seeping over into these wands and they have to shift, otherwise they'll all get damaged by the fire. You know, there's this element of something either coming in that's going to have to make us change the way we think, or us internally realising that that's not the only way to be, and consequently shifting something within us that ignites a bit of a fire, a bit of passion. Have you ever been told that you can't do something and you've just accepted it because you've been told for so many years that you can't do that particular thing? I don't know what it is, but, you know, it's interesting, isn't it, that sometimes it could be the passing comment of a stranger that sticks in our head for 20 years, 30 years, whatever. And today, I feel, is the day when we start looking at that in a really close detail and almost having like somebody on guard in our mind that's going to let each thought through and examine it. As I'm thinking, it's very old and probably a lot of people won't remember this, but back in the 80s and 90s, when the troubles were going on in Ireland, in London, they used to be called like the Ring of Steel. And in the city of London, you literally could not get in or out. It was just these tiny little roads, and policemen stood on every corner, and every van, every car that went through was stopped and challenged. And that's just how life was in growing up in the 90s when you worked in London. Luckily, we don't have that now. But I feel like as I'm talking to you, every thought, obviously it's slowed things down massively, and it's slowing down every single thought and having almost that policeman stopping every thought in your head and going, well, do you actually need to be in here? And that's the kind of impression I'm getting. It's just keeping out the trouble, keeping out things that aren't needed or certainly helpful or could cause harm to us. And I feel that that is a really weird, bizarre way of my guides sticking an idea in my head, but I'm going to have to just go with it. But maybe you'll know what I mean there, that yeah, it's just that idea of challenging yourself. Where did I hear that thought? Where did I get told that that's not possible? And realizing actually there is a million different ways you can reach your goals or do things that you never thought possible. Obviously, the next stage on from this is pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and doing all those things that you've just realized are possible. And it can be quite an awakening when you realize that it's actually you that's holding yourself back. You might be using voices from the past or experiences from the past, but actually the only thing that's stopping you is you. And when you get past this and start tapping into, well, what else is possible? What else can I make? What else can appear? What creative talents do I have? Let's try some. Then that's going to open an exciting new world. And I feel that's where we're being led with these cards today. So, as I say, it is an exciting week. We are moving into Leo season. I feel that that is going to come with a bang towards the end of this week. So please do come back and join me again, and I will give you another reading. And I look forward to seeing you then. Have a lovely day. Bye for now.